Hello again and welcome to part 3 of my country station build on my Trainz a New Era route. In part 2 we made some good progress on the north side area platform, so now we're going to move to the south side. I've already extended the road on this side and also positioned the crossing barrier. So let's continue with some railway fencing to enclose it. I'm adding some short grass to this area. And some trees. Using the grass spline to form an edge. On the themed village, the road was unpaved on this side, but I'm unsure about it and may change it later. Okay, let's add the British Rail sign next. And the warning lights. I think I need to move the trees slightly. That's better. I've decided to change to a paved road on the south side, which meant that I had to move the cattle grids outboard and introduce a path for people to cross. I've also made a start on the platform and positioned the station building. I want to make a car park in this area, so let's continue. I'll add a back wall to the platform now. Okay, let's finish off the south platform next. You may have noticed that I've made it into a double car park, but I think it might be too big for such a small village, so I might make some changes to this later. I'm now going to add the village community centre. Time for some texturing. Okay, we'll leave this area for now. I want to get the level crossing up and running and test it. These are the assets that I will need. First, we have the controller. I've set this to channel 23, which we'll be using for this crossing, and selected level crossing mode. Next, we have the slave unit, which is also set to channel 23 and LCM. Then we have a couple of traffic stoppers and a piece of invisible track. Both crossing barriers are set up to channel 23. I've also set up each of the 4 warning lights, making sure they are set to channel 23, and selected the features that I'm going to be using for this crossing. I've just popped the controller close by in the garden. It doesn't really matter where. Okay, the first thing we have to do is remove this centre piece of road. We can then place the traffic stoppers roughly in position, making sure that they are parallel with the track. Then we can join each end of the road to the side of each traffic stopper. And then move them back to the right position. Finally, we can replace the centre section of road by joining it to the inner faces of the traffic stoppers. Next, we need to bring in the slave unit and connect it to each end of the traffic stoppers with some invisible track. And finally, the last thing to do is to position the track triggers which will operate the crossing when a train is passing. These are the 2 leaving triggers. As you can see, I've got these set at channel 23 and also set for leaving. There are other modes of operation that you can use, but I've always preferred the arriving, leaving method. I've positioned the 2 arriving triggers at a convenient place on the tracks so that we can now carry out the test. Okay, well, everything seems to be working well there. That's it for part 3. I hope you'll join me in part 4 when we continue the build. So for now, it's goodbye from me, and thank you very much for watching.